Hello, my name is Tracy Allen, and I want to welcome you to Cooking with Some Friends. Hello, and welcome to Cooking with Some Friends. I'm going to share a recipe with you this afternoon that you could actually, Christmas is past, but you could actually use this as kind of a Christmas candy. But we like to throw it in the freezer in an airtight container when it's done. And that way you just have these wonderful chocolatey cookie dough bites to go have. Just grab a few out of the freezer and eat them frozen. So I'm going to show you the recipe for some chocolate chip cookie dough brownie bites. And what I've done in advance, I took a fudge brownie mix, and you can use any variety or any name brand you like, and I made those and I let those cool. And then I'm going to make the cookie part of it, the cookie dough part of it. So in my bowl, my mixing bowl, I have 3/4 cup of butter that's room temperature, and to that I'm going to add 3/4 cup of brown sugar and 1/4 cup of granulated sugar. And I'm going to beat those together until they're creamy. Okay. Now I want to add in 2 tablespoons of whole milk and a teaspoon of vanilla. I've measured 2 cups of flour, and I'm going to put just a pinch of salt in with that. Out of my way. And I'm going to add this in by halves to my batter, or my dough. Now I'm going to take a half a bag or a cup of mini chocolate chips. I want to reserve about half of these, so I'll use those later. And I'm going to mix those in. Okay. Done with my mixer. So now I'm going to use my small cookie scoop. And I'm going to scoop out just a scant ball of dough. And I'm going to put that on my parchment paper. You can put it on foil on your cookie sheet. And I'm going to continue to do this until I have all of them formed. And I like to make them smaller, just for the fact that then they're truly just a bite, not overwhelming. So I'm going to continue to do this. Then I'm going to freeze these for about an hour. Okay, we froze our cookie dough balls for about an hour, and then I removed those, and you can see they make a pretty large cookie dough ball, but I took my brownies that I had baked and cooled. You want to flatten them out just a little bit, and then take your cookie dough ball and put it in the center, and then you're just going to work the brownie around it. Form it into a ball again, and then once we get done covering these, we're going to refreeze. And if I don't have enough brownie to do all of them, that's fine. They make great treats just dipped in chocolate, the cookie dough ball. So you can do it that way, or you can just eat them as they are. You wouldn't have to dip them in chocolate. So these are going to be ready to put back in the freezer for about 30 minutes so I can dip them. Okay, I froze my chocolate chip cookie dough balls with the brownie on the outside. I froze them for about another half hour, and I melted my chocolate. Now I'm ready to coat these in the chocolate, and you can use strictly almond bark, or you can do a mixture of almond bark and chocolate chips, whichever. These would probably be good with white chocolate on them as well. And then you're just going to sprinkle some mini chocolate chips on them to finish it off, and I'm going to keep doing that. Now I do have some of these that I didn't put brownie around, but they're good just as they are when you can eat them like they are, or you can cover those with chocolate as well. And when I'm completely done, I'm going to put these back in the freezer in an airtight container, or you could just put them in the refrigerator if you want to. So, but you do need to refrigerate them. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Cooking with Some Friends. I hope you're having a marvelous day, and it's wonderful, sunshiny, wintry day here, but no snow, so we're happy with that. Anyway, I am making a dessert, and this is a dessert that I found that's a Pioneer Woman recipe, but there's had to be some adjustments for several reasons. The first one being the cake mix I'm using a German chocolate cake mix, but it calls for an 18 plus ounce cake mix, and this is only a 13.25. So I'm going to decrease some of the liquid to compensate for that. So I put my cake mix in a bowl, and then normally if it was the big cake mix, I would add a 1/3 cup of evaporated milk, but I'm going to add just a little bit less than that. And stir that in, and then I'm going to also add to this a stick of butter that I melted and a cup of pecans that I chopped up. So my melted butter, and I have sprayed my baking dish, and I've preheated my oven to 350. Butter added. Now I want to stir in my chopped pecans, and you want to chop those as fine as you can. So I'm going to take half of this dough, and I'm going to press that into the pan that I sprayed. And then I'm going to bake this at 350. For about 8 or 10 minutes. About half. Pioneer Woman has reasons that she said that these are called knock you naked brownies, but I just think they're good. But okay, so these have to bake for that 8 to 10 minutes. And while these are baking, I'm going to get my caramel layer ready, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, besides the cake mix differential, one of the things that I'm changing is the recipe calls for 60 unwrapped caramels and a 1/2 cup of evaporated milk that you would melt in a double boiler. I'm going to take about 1.5 cups of the caramel bits and the 1/2 cup of evaporated milk, and I'm doing this in the microwave. So I'm just gonna melt this at intervals of about 30 seconds each. So I baked half of my brownie mixture for about 8 to 10 minutes. I melted my caramel bits in my evaporated milk to make a nice caramel sauce. So I'm going to dump this over my brownies. Makes a really smooth caramel sauce. The bits make it so much easier. Put that in my sink. And over the top of this, while it's still hot, I'm going to go ahead and add my chocolate chips. And I have just about 1/3 of a cup I like to use closer to a half, or just because I like chocolate. I'm going to sprinkle that over the top. Now, I've also, while I was waiting, I rolled out or pressed out the other half of my brownie batter into a square that's just a little bit smaller than my pan. So now I want to put this over the top, just like that. Oh, my pecans came off. Now I'm going to put this back in the oven and bake it for another 20 to 25 minutes. When it comes out, I will sprinkle or dust this with sifted powdered sugar, about a half a cup, and then our brownies will be done. Our Knock You Naked brownies are out of the oven, and they smell wonderful. Now all I have to do is wait for them to cool to room temperature, and then I'm going to dust them with sifted powdered sugar, and that will be the completion of our brownies. Thanks for joining us for this session of Cooking with Some Friends. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And find us on Facebook at Cooking with Some Friends.